Good evening. My name is Nam Pham, and welcome to VATV. As you know, the VATV is co-produced by BNN and VAT8. We hope that we could help to promote more mutual understanding between the Vietnamese American community in Boston and our friends around the city. Our show is live every Wednesday evening from 7 to 8. 7 to 7:30 in Vietnamese and 7:30 to 8 in English. It is live, so you can call in and share with us your question, your remark, your thoughts. The phone number to call in is 617-708-3290. Our show is also repeated on Sunday at 5 p.m., Monday at 1 p.m., and Tuesday at 11 a.m. If you miss it, you can also watch it on our website, VAT8.org. As usual, we would have a special guest, and before that, we would share with you a couple of announcements. I guess all of us are very excited that, especially for people who, like me, live or work in Dorchester, we are very excited about the newly elected mayor, Mr. Marty Walsh, because he's from Dorchester. And we are very excited about the future of the city. I'm also would share with you that if we learn more about the history of Dorchester, we also get excited because Dorchester has a very rich history. And later on in the moment, I will introduce you to a very special person who will share with us something that very special in Dorchester. But first, let me share with you a couple of exciting events will be taking place in Dorchester in the next few days. This coming Thursday at 5 to 6:30, from 6 to 7:30 p.m., there will be a discussion of home-based assignment plan organized by the Boston Public School, as you know, school reform, and how to select schools for our children is very important to all of us. So this coming Thursday at our center from 6 to 7:30 p.m., people from Boston Public Schools will be available to share with the parents what the plans may be and share with us how you can select the best school for your children. Also on November 7th, one of our partner in Dorchester, Phil Corner Main Street in Phil Corner, will have its annual event. It's called Pajama Tini. Basically, it's a fundraiser. It's very fun. You will meet a lot of community leaders and people around Dorchester. It will take place at Plani Store on Dorchester Ave at 1505 Dorchester Avenue. And also at Dorchester House, there will be a workshop on healthcare reform on Thursday from 5:30 to 6:30 for everybody. And on November 14, there will be another workshop for people who speak Spanish. And on the 15th, there will be another one for Vietnamese speaker. So you can see there are a lot of things going on in Dorchester. And with us this evening, we are very honored to have Reverend Arthur Lavoie. He is the minister of a wonderful, very historical church, and I will ask him to share with us what's going on with this wonderful church. Reverend Lavoie, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Nam Pham.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to be here. I'm the minister at First Parish in Dorchester. First Parish is the founding church of Dorchester. A group of Puritans came over in 1630 and founded Dorchester and founded this congregation. So it's been in a couple of different locations, but has been sitting on top Meeting House Hill in Dorchester since about 1670, a few successive buildings.
The church has been around for, I guess, 400 years.
Almost
or so.
400 years, yes.
Yeah. So how long have you been the minister of the church?
I started my 9th year in August, so I've been here for 8 full years now, and have loved my time in Dorchester. I love being in such a wonderful community, the diversity, there's such a vibrant community in Dorchester. And because of the church's history as part of the founding of Dorchester, the church has a mission in the community and really tries to be welcoming to everyone in the community. We open the church for a lot of different community groups who use the building. We sit next door to the Mather School, right there, also on Meeting House Hill. So we have a nice connection with the school, and we're also involved in founding the school.
Wonderful.
In 1639.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can talk more about the church, but right now we do have a caller to call in. So if you are ready, you can share with us your thoughts. Good evening. You on air?
Good evening.
Hi.
Yes, I have just a quick fact, and the fact is Dorchester is the oldest part of Boston.
Wonderful.
Yes. Dorchester is the oldest part of the current city of Boston. The Puritan group that came to Dorchester gathered about a few months before the group that came to Boston. So it is a little bit older than Boston.
Yeah. So I guess with such a long history, the mission of the church, I wonder if it has evolved through time.
The mission has evolved to some degree, but it has depended on what are the needs and concerns of the people of Dorchester. So there have been, early in its history, there was a need for public education. Because at that time, if you wanted to educate your children, you had to either pay a tutor or send them to a private school. So the church founded the Mather School when Richard Mather was the minister of the church in 1639. It's the first publicly funded elementary school in the country. So that commitment to education is something that in my ministry that I'm trying to kind of resurface with the congregation. What is our ongoing commitment to public education in a community like Dorchester, an urban community that has a lot of issues that urban communities deal with and that urban children have to deal with. So we're starting to talk about that, as part of the mission, to bring that back as part of the mission. Because we have a fairly large building, we've been able to host a lot of different community groups. We had one of the mayoral debates back in August in our sanctuary, and there's a long history of hosting public events. When the early church was founded, it was the only meeting place in the community. So the first town meeting happened in the church. And so there's this history of civic involvement and concern about what's going on in the city.
It's great, and personally, I always remember when I first came to Dorchester 30 years ago, and one of the first community meetings that I attended took place at the church.
Okay.
So even though I'm Buddhist, I had very fond memories of the church.
Yeah.
And I think with the mission of being involved with the community of the church, I think that's a wonderful mission.
Thank you. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, but I guess that the church has been around for almost 400 years.
Yes.
There is a need to upkeep the building.
Well, this is the 6th building of the congregation that we're now in. It had a series of buildings. The 5th building burned in 1896 and was rebuilt. And so that's the building that we're now in. It's a colonial revival building, and it had fallen, as much of Dorchester had fallen on hard times for a while, the building had also fallen on hard times.
As you can see, that's the...
Yeah, that was the state of the building when we started this phase of our restoration project. As you can see from that photo, well, you might not be able to exactly tell, but the top of the steeple had been taken down about 6 years ago because it was deteriorated and threatening to fall right into the building. So we had to take that down. The next slide shows a detail of scroll work on the front of that building, and you can see how badly deteriorated that is. The third slide is a slide of along the side of the building on Parish Street, and a lot of peeling and chip paint. You can't, you're at a bit of a distance, so you can't quite see it there. One of the things that we did was we contracted with the North Bennett Street School, their restoration carpentry program, training program for men and women who want to go into that field, and they restored windows for us. That was the first part of the project. Well, part of their learning, I suppose, they say that when you work on windows, you learn a lot about carpentry and angles and all the things you need to know. So the next slide shows some of the windows and some of the students from North Bennett working on. They took out the windows, all of the windows in the sanctuary, 2 dozen, a dozen on each side, have been done over the last 2 years.
Good. The buildings, even though, like you mentioned, it's the 6th building of the congregation, but it has been more than 200 years.
1896 is about 130.
Yeah. My
not
math is
more
not
than,
that great.
right?
Almost,
not more than
yeah.
not 200 years.
But basically, it's a long.
It's been
old
sitting
building,
there. It's been sitting there for a long time.
For a long time.
Yeah,
But the picture that we just saw earlier did not present the, I guess, the real need to restore the building.
Right.
Yeah.
There were places in the building where we had squirrels living in the attic. There were big open spaces in the top, just under the roof line, and squirrels were coming in there. We had birds' nests everywhere. There were pigeons living in the clock tower. It was, quite a menagerie we had when we started this phase of the project about a year ago.
Yeah, I remember years ago there was an event that we had the mayor and we had local leaders and local politicians at the church, to begin the whole project of restoration.
Right. We had a wonderful groundbreaking ceremony that day. Yeah, it was in August, a couple of years ago.
So we had to restore the whole building, or what are you doing with the building?
Well, we had to restore the outside of the building because to make it watertight again and to, just structurally to make the building sound. Part of this project is we are making the first floor of the building fully accessible. There is a ramp now being built up the side of the building. We had an accessible bathroom put in on the first floor. Then a bit later, there will be other phases of the restoration that we will need to do in order, we have to put in a new heating system, we have to put in better fire protection system, we have to put in an elevator to the second floor. So we have to raise another $2 to $3 million.
Only 2 or 3 million?
Only $2 or $3 million.
Another. Right. So what is the total cost?
Well, the total cost of this project over the last several years, we've already spent about $2 million, and then we need to raise another probably $3 million. So it's probably $5 to $5.5 million is the total cost of the project.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money for a church. For a church, it's an awful lot of money. Yeah. But now that the building is, pretty tight and solid, we can focus a little bit more on some of the programs we offer, and then, as we continue to raise money.
That's excellent. Thank you for your thought there. What kind of programs are you offering at the church these days? Well,
we have a lot of community groups that, that use the building, and that, we have groups far-ranging from Alcoholics Anonymous to, the Boston Children's Chorus and the Boston City Singers who rehearse in the building. There are a number of groups in the community that use our hall for some of their activities. The Family Nurturing Center rents it out a couple of times a year. We have we're looking at doing some program around food. We're also, now that all this construction is done, it's time to start looking at some new programming.
Good.
So everything from community support programs. The Mather School uses the building once in a while for different things because they're kind of bursting at the seams over there. So sometimes they have something going on where they need to use the building. Those are among the different groups and programs that use the building.
That's a lot of programs
Well,
for,
that is
for
a lot
church,
of programs,
for
and
an
we
old
do.
church.
Well, we do want to bring more in.
Yeah.
So and then there are all the community meetings. We host, programs for when we do the Dorchester Day kickoff dinner, for example. We have a Vietnamese group, Dien Hong, the Dien Hong
Yes.
Foundation,
Yes.
that their executive group meets once a month, and they use our hall for the New Year's celebration.
I remember that.
Every year they do that. So we have, and they've been now using the building for 30 years.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
The project, the restoration project, has been going on for a couple of years now.
Well, it's been going on since I started there.
That's 8 years ago.
Yeah. We had started working to remove the steeple. So the steeple was removed about 7 years ago. And then it sat on the ground for the last several years. And the North Bennett Street School, we've got a couple of slides
We saw
of the
that,
North Bennett.
right
That's what it looked like sitting on the ground. And then there are a couple of slides of the North Bennett. That's some of the work being done on it, and then some of the restoration of the cupola there. So the North Bennett Street School, their second year class, took that on as a class project last year. And they donated probably about $750,000 worth of free labor.
That's wonderful.
We would not have been able to complete the work on the steeple without that. And then there are a couple of slides. In August, we put the steeple back up on top of the building, and it was a momentous occasion for all of us. And there was a whole crowd from the community that gathered in front of the building to watch this enormous crane lift the steeple and put it back on the building.
Good. So looking forward into the future a little bit, when will the whole church be like brand new again?
Well, we don't know. It's going to depend on how how much money we can raise and how we can work with some local groups and foundations. One of the ideas that we have is to actually build another wing onto the building so that we can offer more community programs. There's a need in the neighborhood for daycare and after-school programming that we just can't accommodate in the building the way it's configured now. So we're thinking of working with other groups that might want to be able to rent the space and to offer programs in that building to actually add some space to the building. So that's part of the project also, that we could use that space on Sunday for our religious education programs, and then it would be available all week for more groups and community groups to rent and to use. So there's all of these pieces that we need to figure out how they can come together.
I guess owning a church is like owning a house.
Oh.
You keep fixing it and keep
Right,
changing it to
right.
meet the need of the family.
Right. One of the things that we're very excited about is that Mayor Menino will be coming to the church a week from Saturday.
It's wonderful. Can you share with us more
Yeah.
about that wonderful upcoming event?
Yeah, Mayor Menino has often said when he's been at the church for different other functions that when he ran on his own term for mayor, the first debate was held in our church. And so he has a special place in his heart. And so we asked him to come and host a fundraising event to help pay for the work we're doing now and to help us kick off the next phase. And so on Saturday, November 16th, from 3 to 6, we're calling it 20 bells for the mayor. We're going to ring the bell 20 times as part of the ceremony to honor his 20 years of service to
Good
the
idea.
community.
Yeah.
We have food donated from a number of local restaurants, and so it's going to be a really wonderful event. Tickets for that event are $100.
I guess people could contact you.
They can contact me and they can purchase them right on our
Online.
website,
I know it.
firstparishdorchester.org is the best way, you know. So we're very excited to be able to kind of almost help the mayor close his time as he opened it in Dorchester at our church, to be able to close his service to the community with a special recognition.
That's great.
Yeah.
How many people you expect to be at the event?
We don't know. We're hoping for at least 100 or more people. We've got a number of sponsors. You know, we're advertising widely in the community. It's not just for church members. We're hoping for well over 100 people to be able to help us with
I'm
this,
sure
with
you will
this
have
effort.
more than 100.
Well,
And
yes.
I will be one of those 100
Well,
people.
thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah.
And are there any other local dignitaries, leader you expect to be there?
Since our focus is on the mayor, we want to keep that focus just on him.
Yeah.
So I don't. There are a number of people who are working with us. Our former City Councilor Maureen Feeney has been involved helping us to contact people, giving us names of folks. So I expect Maureen will probably be there. Some of the local city politicians may also be there. But our focus is really on honoring the mayor.
That's why it's called 20 bells for the mayor.
20 bells for the mayor.
For his 20 years of service to,
Right.
to the city.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If people would like to make donation to help the restoration, how can they do
There is also on our website, there is a kind of donate button that you can click on our website and donate directly there. Or if you want to send a check, our address is, it's First Parish Dorchester, 10 Parish Street, Dorchester 02122.
Good. Or you can also contact us.
Yes.
We will have these information for you if you need it. We have about 30 seconds left. I wonder if you would like to have the last message for our viewer.
Well, I am, so one of the things I love so much about being in Dorchester is the diversity in the community. And I've had a wonderful relationship working with the Vietnamese community, and I'm thrilled to have the connection with you, with the Dien Hong Foundation, and I hope that will continue for a long time.
It will be. Yeah.
Good,
Yeah,
wonderful.
thank you so much,
Thank you.
Reverend Lavoie.
Thank you.
Thank you, and good luck with the event.
Thank you so much.